Hello everyone, welcome to Come Sit at My Table. Melissa and I are sure happy to have you here. We're making a side dish today, something that we really like at this time of year. When we get to October, November, December, I really like cranberry. I really don't fix cranberry dishes much throughout the rest of the year, but in the fall and during the Christmas season, we love cranberry dishes. So today we're going to make an apple cranberry casserole that is a side dish, but can be used as a dessert. Now, you're going to notice as we go through this recipe, through these ingredients, there is quite a bit of sugar in this. And you might say, well, how can this be a side dish with all that sugar in it? That's more of a dessert, and it can be used as dessert, but it's just like a sweet potato casserole. We eat sweet potato casserole on our plate right next to the dressing and turkey every Thanksgiving, and we don't think a thing about it. It's a sweet side dish. Now, if you're like my dad was, you wouldn't eat this as a side dish. He would never touch this or sweet potato casserole during the meal. He always saved it and had it at the end because he said it was better than any dessert we could put on the table. So you can decide whether you want to use it as a side dish or as a dessert, but really it is considered a side dish. Let's talk about what we're going to use to make our apple cranberry casserole. We're going to start with some apples. We need 3 cups of apples once they are peeled, cored, and chopped. Now, you can use whatever apple you like, but a good firm baking apple is probably best for this. Something like a yellow delicious is going to be a little too soft and might just mush up too much. So something, you can choose whatever apple you want, but something that's a little firmer is probably better. We're also going to use 2 cups of cranberries. I'm using frozen cranberries, but you can use fresh in this. They work just fine. It's up to you whichever one you want to use. We're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of lemon juice. If you want to squeeze your own, that's great. You can do that. I'm using bottled lemon juice today because it's easier. And we're going to use 1 1/2 cups of white sugar. Now, all of that goes into our baking dish. We will mix our apples and our cranberries. We will pour over the lemon juice and stir that together just a little bit. And then we're going to cover that with the white sugar. We'll just pour it right over the top and not stir. Then we're going to make a crumble topping to go on top of that just before we bake it. And the crumble topping is going to be made of 1 1/2 cups of quick oats or 1-minute oats, 1 cup of chopped pecans.
Can you use any nuts?
You can use walnuts. I don't know that I would use anything besides pecans or walnuts in this. We love pecans, but walnuts will work. 1/2 cup of packed light brown sugar and 1 stick of butter that you're going to want to melt, and I have already melted that so that we can move along with this recipe. So I'm moving that stick of butter out of the way. I always start by making the crumble topping. The reason I do that is because once I get those apples peeled and cored and chopped up, I want to get this in the oven as quickly as possible just to keep them as fresh as I can. So I'm going to take my melted butter and I'm going to add the nuts, the oats, and the brown sugar. And we're just going to mix all of that together. Now, if you want to get in there with your fingers, you can do that. That's up to you. But you just want to make sure that that is really mixed together well and make a nice crumble topping. Make sure that packed brown sugar gets broken up and incorporated with all those oats and nuts. And this just literally takes a few seconds to do. And I find that having it done first makes everything go quicker at the end. So you can tell when everything's coated, you can see how wet it will look. So just make sure it's all mixed up. If you see any pieces of brown sugar, just break those up and get them incorporated. Okay, that's it for our crumble topping. Now I can set all that out of the way. Now that it's out of the way, we can start on our apples and cranberries. All you have to do is, once you have the apples peeled, cored, and chopped, you just mix those in the pan with the cranberries, sprinkle on the lemon juice, pour on the sugar. So really, besides peeling the apples, we're finished. So I'm going to process the apples. I'm going to peel them, core them, and chop them, and then we'll get everything put together. Our apples are peeled, cored, and chopped. Melissa said I should have told you what kind of apples I'm using. These are Envy apples, E-N-V-Y. And I've looked them up. I got them at Costco, and I looked them up, and it says that they are really good for cooking. They are a little sweet. They have a little crispness to them, but they are firm enough that they do well in cooking. So that's why I grabbed them when we were at Costco yesterday. All right, so we're just putting our cranberries and apples in our dish. I'm going to put our lemon juice on. That's 1.5 teaspoons. I'm just going to sprinkle that around. And you know, I think I am going to stir this up. I'm just going to use the same one. There's no reason to dirty another spoon. Okay. Now, by the way, why would we put lemon juice on here? Well, number one, for the flavor, gives it a little bit of tartness along with those cranberries, but also for the brightness, just to brighten up the flavors and to keep those apples a little fresher so they don't just turn brown and look bad. Okay, I'm just going to toss those together, get some of those cranberries in the bottom as well as on top, and then we'll just spread everything out. Now, the next thing we want to do is sprinkle on or cover this with our sugar. So you do want to make sure that once you start sprinkling on your sugar, that you don't have to move anything around, because we are not going to stir this in. And I know this looks like a lot of sugar, but you have to remember you're dealing with cranberries. And what do we know about cranberries?
Super sour.
They are tart. Melissa's right. So if you didn't put sugar on them, I don't know if you could eat it. I know there are people who just eat cranberries, but I don't know how. They're pretty tart. Now, we have that on, and we're just gonna come right over here and put on our crumble topping. Now, because we did it first, that butter will start to kind of solidify. So you're probably just gonna wanna stir it again just to break that crumble topping up. And by the way, as this cooks, the butter in this crumble topping is going to melt and run down over that sugar and help it liquefy. You know, sugar does turn to liquid when it gets hot. And it will just all run down and coat those apples and cranberries. All right. I hope I can fit all this on here. I'm sure going to try. And another thing I wanted to tell you was that I will put this on a rimmed baking sheet just in case there's a little bubbling over. You never know. When you're dealing with apples, you know what, I think that's about enough. When you're dealing with apples and cranberries, they are going to give off some liquid. So you may have just a little bit of bubbling. So you might want to put this on a rimmed baking sheet. Okay, that's it. Now we're going to put this on a baking sheet. We have set our oven at 325 degrees. It is preheated. And this is going to bake at 325 for 1.5 hours. If your oven bakes hot like mine does, watch the dish. Start watching it at about an hour, hour and 10 minutes, and just make sure that the crumble topping is not burning. All right, let's put this in. Our apple cranberry casserole is out of the oven. It baked for exactly 90 minutes. And I'm going to tell you, it smells wonderful. I can hardly wait to eat some of this. Now, I can tell you already, because we've had this before, it does have a little bit of a sweet but tart taste. Of course, you have the cranberries. They're going to be tart. You have all that sugar. It's going to be sweet.
And it's very wet, isn't it?
It makes lots of juice. Melissa's right. Makes lots of juice in there. You can see that. So you may want to serve it in little bowls. Just put bowls by each plate that people can put it in. You don't have to do that. They can put it on their plate, but it is a little juicy.
Lots of people don't like things that run together either.
Well, that's
so
true.
If you have, someone who doesn't care for that.
That doesn't bother me, but it does a lot of people. All right, babe, you ready?
I am.
Don't let it burn you. Too hot? Okay. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I like the juice on it. I like that there's a lot of juice down in there.
Let me show it to everybody.
Okay. And I spoon that right over top. Let me get another spoon so I can show them. Look here. You can see how there's juice down in there. Look at that.
It's really good. And it's a sweet and a sour taste.
Absolutely. It's a little tart from the cranberries, but it's sweet too.
I love the cranberries and the apples together. It's a nice combination.
It's a great combination for fall. Pardon my slurping. I couldn't help it. Oh, that's so good. That tastes like fall. I mean, apples and cranberries. And I love the nuts.
And that topping.
The nuts give it a little crunch, and she's right. The oats give it some texture. It's really good.
Yeah, texture's a good word for that. It's got multiple dimensions.
That's so good. Wow. That's just wonderful.
Make it now and then make it again for Thanksgiving, guys.
And it heats up really well. This is something you can keep in the refrigerator and eat on it. Put some in a bowl, stick it in the microwave, and you can eat on it. It's a great snack too. And you can put a little scoop of vanilla ice cream on it. Makes a great dessert. We do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. We would appreciate you going right below this video and clicking the like button. If you haven't before, we invite you to click that subscribe button, the little notification bell beside of it, and the word all. That just joins you to our channel. We like to say it gives you a seat at our table. We invite you to do that. Right under this video, there's a description box. In that box, you're going to see apple cranberry casserole. If you'll click on that box, it will expand. Melissa always puts the written recipe right there for you. Under that recipe is our mailing address. If you want to mail us recipes for us to consider using on our Sunday subscriber series, you can certainly mail us recipes. We'd love to see them. Right under that is a link to our publisher's website. If you're interested in our cookbook, we would love for you to take a look at that. And at the bottom of the page, there's a place for you to leave us a comment. We love hearing from you, so feel free to leave us a comment down there. Thanks again for watching. We do appreciate it. We hope you'll give this a try. It is delicious. We want you to always remember that you are always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day.